Hello, you guys. I decided to come on for a few minutes. I just got home. I had such a wonderful time tonight, and y'all, the party is still going on. I ain't gonna lie, nobody could ever again say that white people don't know how to party. Okay, have had a very nice, and they're still going. A very nice Christmas party at their home. I enjoyed, but y'all know I don't stay out late, so I like to it's starting to get dark at like 4:30. And so, yeah, good food, good drinks and stuff. The opportunity to network, all that good stuff. So it was just really nice. Anyways, y'all, the I want to talk about the Memphis Task Force. What's up, the Black Barbie? Black Barbie, you all should have some. Oh, I got y'all's little things. I'm waiting on one more thing. I got one of y'all things today, and I'm waiting on one more thing, which is I got a notification today too that was being shipped. Then I'm gonna ship y'all stuff out. My moderators, child. I'm gonna have to. I'm gonna put myself on a budget. Like I set myself back 6 months. I need to get me a husband. That's what I need to do. Because I've so been in like the Christmas spirit. I want to get everybody something. Hey, lovely lady. And that's what I did. My grandbaby broke me. That's what she did. She broke me. Because I think I got her like 3 or 4 coats. I was looking at the coats. I was like, wow, I just want to get I got her like 3 or 4. And I got them in different sizes, all the way up to a 6X. And I'm thinking, Lord, she's just 3 years old, but she'll have like from now up until she's like 6 or 7. Her mama won't ever have to buy another coat because I hooked her up. I still need to talk to you, sis, about my. Okay, that's cool. That's cool. Hey, pumpkin poo. I need to make me some because it's cold outside. I still got a little chill on me. I need to make me some coffee, but I'm good. I'll make some in a few, I guess. You know how you be happy to get in the house? I was so happy to get home, to kick those boots off. Ladies, I hope it's only women in here. Y'all know it ain't nothing like taking that bra off. I remember I used to laugh at women. So I'm like one of those older women now. I used to laugh at. There he go. Oh my God. I was just thinking about you. You're the second person here that I promise to God I was thinking about a lady today. I remember when I first got my started my TV show, which was like back in 2013. And I started posting, and I don't even know how to. I guess I was just getting a lot of Facebook friends, right? And I remember this lady, her name is Jocelyn Thornton, and she sent me a message. She was like, I'll help you. I'm going to pray for you, and this, and that, right? She calls herself a bishop from out of Chicago. And that was in 2013. I had not seen that lady. You know how, as time go on, you don't even see people's posts. If you don't communicate with them, they are not even come into your post in Facebook, right? They can post and it won't come into your timeline. You won't see it. I was thinking about somehow my mind went to that lady today. I don't know what made me think about that lady. And how about I log onto Facebook a little earlier today, and it was a memory post showing where it was her birthday. It's weird. And here's the thing. You know what's so weird? It was a memory post, But her birthday was in April. I was like, oh my God, I was thinking about this lady and she's in my timeline, but her birthday was back in April. And I went and looked at her page and she had been on live. I was like, wow. And so right before I got on, after I sat down and stuff, took my bra and stuff off, I was thinking about you. I was like, I'm gonna have to call Hitta. And as a matter of fact, I looked at your page to make sure you wasn't live because I was like, I don't want to be live and he's live. And then you come up in here because when I don't hear from you because normally you call me like every day almost. I ain't heard from you in like a few days. So you had been on my mind. You was up around my way. You been in Memphis? Hey Rochelle. Why you ain't call me? Why didn't you call me? You should have stayed and went to the holiday party with me tonight. Pumpkin says here to he said he was in Memphis and he didn't call me. That's weird. I'm gonna tell y'all something. He said it was for work. I'm gonna tell y'all something. We have to watch. We gotta watch our children. We really gotta watch our kids. And I'm saying that seriously. Like, it's something going on where young kids, minors, teenagers. I don't. They have developed. I don't know if it's peer pressure. A lot of it is. But I know that a lot of parents are working so hard. Like it takes 3, 4 jobs to be able to survive. Okay. It takes about 3 or 4 jobs to be able to survive. I was looking at something tonight. But I'm gonna say this, like yesterday, I was um I was in a communication with this family and I was there. I stayed after work because I could not leave them like after my hours because I couldn't leave them. And they're going through hell. Okay, and I talk about how everybody that is in jail is not guilty. Okay, and out of all the people that have been falsely accused, because there is a percentage that has, most people when they do it out of anger, I was playing a video the other day. Um, the Sco interviewed the young lady, and she flat out said she lied. And I was looking at something today. One of those young men got 2 life sentences. Now that was weird. That was crazy. Okay, but we just. I mean, we're supposed to believe our kids all. All because I've always said that I'm going to anybody. My kids tell me that somebody has done something to them. As a mother, you absolutely right. I am going to believe my kids. Okay, but I've raised my kids in such a way that I don't believe that my kids would not lie and say that somebody did something to them sexually and they did not. Okay. And here's the thing, it's a lot of parents that raise their kids right. I'm not saying that what this young lady has done is a reflection of her parents. It's not her parent. Um, sometimes the parents can, your kids, our kids do things, and you get to wondering where in the world did that come from? Just like I told you, like I found out my daughter had been smoking weed, and even she told me like way after she had graduated and she was grown, and she's like, when we were seniors, we went up to the Whitehaven Park, and it just came up because they was up there getting high at the park, and they was getting high, and her and her friends, and they all got to fighting with each other because they was getting high. But she never told me that. I was devastated because I've never smoked weed, ever, never smoked weed in my life. So I was like, dog, like she was like, well, mama, I'm grown now. That happened 3, 4 years ago. But I was devastated. I was like, wow, why would my daughters be smoking some weed? She ain't never seen me smoke no weed. I ain't even never bring no men around them. So, and if I did, they weren't gonna be smoking no weed. I mean, well, it wasn't gonna be no they. He was not gonna be smoking no weed around me or them. But so a lot of times when our kids do stuff, and I know that's being far out based on what this person did, as far as like lying and saying that somebody sexually assaulted them, right? And what I was getting at, because y'all know I got tired, y'all know my brain. I've been drinking a little bit too, okay? So y'all have to bear with me if my brain get twisted up a little bit. um, and I normally don't drink, but I done had a few, okay, a little bit of wine and stuff. That's what you do when you go to nice parties and stuff. What was I talking about? I forgot. Um, the Alabama hitter says, "Hey, Punkin." Yes, I was for a few hours. See, hitter, you should have called me. You should have. I'll tell you. What was I talking about? The Memphis Task Force outside, but there have still been shootouts. We have to tend. Oh, that's what I was talking about. We have to tend to our kids, and so we have to tend to our children because psychologically, I don't know what's going on, but we really have to pay close attention. And I was saying as we get so caught up in working because we have to, right? We have to work. Unfortunately, there are more single parent homes. So, you know, if you got a two parent home, the parents, both parents would have to have two jobs. So you have mothers and some fathers who are single that are raising their children. They're having to do triple that, to be able to put food and stuff on the table. And so, as young adults, like I said, we just have to pay close attention to them because sometimes psychologically kids will act out, when they want attention, and they will falsely, they don't understand being minors, even though know right from wrong. If you falsely accuse somebody of sexually assaulting you and your family, okay, they don't understand the severity of that, right? And it's very few that will go back and correct that. And I had the opportunity to talk to somebody that had done that. And it's something because when I was talking to them, they recanted their story. That person has been sitting in jail for 2 years, which is hurtful. Okay. Y'all know hey, the saying is it's better to let 10 guilty men go free than to convict one innocent man. And um and I remember, just talking to the person, the young lady, and she, you know, um she said, I know I was wrong. And she said why she did it. And her parents were devastated. But you know what? They stepped up though. They stepped up trying to fix this situation, doing whatever that they could. And and I say that kids don't know the severity of a lot of things because she told the truth, and then she turned around with me sitting there looking right at her. Cause y'all know when I don't like going up in people's houses, but I went up in there, and then she turned, and after she told the truth, she turned around, and I was looking right at her, fell asleep. And so that's why I say a lot of these kids don't know like the severity of, we have to really pay attention. And I believe that her parents are paying attention. They're paying attention. But peer pressure is something else. Um, in school, we got to make sure psychologically that they are okay. Because sometimes when our kids are lagging on stuff, we don't think, we get talking about what's wrong with you, because we'll say stuff as parents. What's wrong with you? Is you slow? What is going on with you? And we're not thinking in this day and time that something could really mentally really be going on with them, right? And so, hey, I think it's hurtful to me when I see when I know that there are people in jail suffering for crimes that they did not commit. Because about 10% of them really are innocent. Okay, they really didn't do what they have been accused of doing, and I think what can be so hurtful with the justice system is, and it turns into a travesty of justice when, rather than fix something, they'll just continue on with it because it is not in the interest of um, the government at that time to release an innocent person. And they'll try to find every reason to keep them in jail. Okay. Um, when I say it's not in their interest, they don't want to get sued. And I think that's so messed up. There's so many men and their lives and stuff have been taken for lies, and all they got to do is reverse it. And they won't do it because there was some corruption somewhere. They know that person never should have been there. And rather than the person get out and own the city or the county, they'll keep that person in jail. They'll find a way to justify that person being in jail. And so it's really hurtful to me. It really is um, it really is, and I'm not, I know with kids and, psychological stuff. And it's funny because it was in court. I don't know why I decided. I was like, no, I call the attorney. And I was like, the attorney was in another courtroom. And so I was like, well, I'm gonna go see something. And as soon as I got there, the young lady ran up to me, Miss Thompson, gave me a hug and stuff. And her family had her there, um, so that she could tell the truth, right? But I think about like her being a child, a man that's been in jail for a couple years. She does not realize what she's, done, and like I said, the family was so tore up. I couldn't leave. I couldn't leave them because there was a mix up because it's short in the prisons and jails, and the person they didn't do it right. But the judge was so awesome, even with the mix up. Instead of waiting until after the holidays to give another court date, the judge turned around and gave another court date for a few days, which is like next week, you know. But yet and still, that person has to sit in jail a little bit longer for a crime that they did not commit, and the family was just torn up. The idea, I think, that they were so hard, and which when kids tell us that something has happened to them, any good parent would be angry and would want to move to do what is necessary, for there to be justice brought to whoever did something to their child. And so that's why I say we have to watch our kids a little bit. We have to, and even if you are watching them, because I'm definitely not saying anything bad about the parents. We got to make sure psychologically, right? We got to make sure their mental is right, because even though they're kids, and that we feel like they don't have anything to worry about, peer pressure is something else. They want to be liked. They go through all of these emotions. They want attention. They want to be accepted, and they do so much, and it hurts me because I have a passion for children and seniors. So yeah, I want to say that, and my prayer is for everybody that has been wrongly convicted, for God to um, open the jailhouse doors. I think about that scripture where it says Paul and Silas prayed at midnight and the jailhouse doors came open. Yeah, I'm praying for that. That young man is getting ready to walk out though. I'm gonna tell you right now, that young man got a fire, and I do mean a fire attorney. So I have no doubts about that. That man he's gonna walk out. Um, and who knows what his prayer has been, but to be sitting somewhere for 2 years, he was just sitting. They was getting ready to sentence him. Isn't that something? They was getting ready to sentence this man and mess his life up further, more. And he was not gonna do a little bit of time. And it just so happens that attorney needed something else and sent me out there. And look at what God has done. I was talking to my mother about it. My mama said, look at what happened. They were sending you so that they can go and close the book on him for good. And God has turned that whole situation around. So what was supposed to be the really just sealing the deal on his fate, throwing the book at him, just further selling them on up the river, it turned around, and God is opening the jailhouse doors for him. So, anyways, y'all, we just gotta continuously pray. I pray. You know, I know that there's a lot of. We know that there's inflation and people are, you know, just working hard to survive. We're all just trying to survive, right? We're all just trying to survive. But um, we have to pray and put some works in, okay? Because I don't like to tell people, just pray, pray, pray. My mama said that all the time. We just got to pray, nothing but prayer. My mother called me. I believe we talk every day, all day. She be getting sick of me because I be calling her all the time. She'll send me a text message. I'll call you back, and I keep ringing the phone until she answers because I don't be knowing she texting me. I have to make sure ain't nobody got her kidnapped. Okay. So when I call and she don't answer, she start texting me. Then I ring the phone back to back to back to back to back until she answers. Okay. She be mad at me too when she have to click over. I'm like, I just want to hear your voice. Make sure nobody kidnap you or nothing. I'm weird like that. Y'all leave me alone. That's how I do it. And it ain't got nothing to do with nothing on YouTube. I've been like that my whole life. Okay, this ain't no act on YouTube. I really am like this in real life. Okay, and so my mother called me. She was like, "Tell God thank you." I thought she was going to tell me, "Girl, you done got a big old check over in my house." I said, "Huh?" She said, "Just tell God thank you." I said, God, thank you. I had perked up. I said, what's going on? I thought she was going to say, had sent me one of them big old checks from all that back child support that I'm owed, okay? From those arrearages. That's what I thought she was going to say. Girl, they done sent you a big old check over here. Do they even still send checks? That let you know I ain't getting no child support right. I got a letter the other day. They holding my daughter who's 27 years old, holding her dad in contempt. I said I wish I would go to court. I ain't trying to deal with him. I did him. I dog walked him early on. Okay, when he didn't do right, but I'm not gonna put him through hell now because he's trying to do right. I'm not gonna be going to court to get him put in jail. Shit, the man trying to live. Hell, how he gonna work and stuff if I can have him put in jail? I didn't think like that a long time ago. Okay, but I thinks like that now. She said, Tam, be nosy, Rosie, y'all. That mama talked to her friend. I'm telling you, I promise you, my mom was telling somebody one day, Chrissy ain't the type of person that you could tell, I'll call you back. She gonna ring the phone until you answer the phone. And then once they answer, I mean, all they got to do is just click over. Just click over so I can hear their voice and instead of texting. I don't like that texting stuff. If your baby daddy wins the lottery, hell yeah, they'll snatch their arrears back and forth. Oh, Lord, please let him hit the lottery, God. Please let him hit the lottery, Lord. Please let him hit the lottery. Please let him hit the lottery. I think one of them paid his off. I was looking. It was one of them that paid pretty good. I remember I was looking at that account. I was like, dog, I know he ain't behind. He was in the arrearages, okay? Because I got his butt. Don't get me started talking. Because see, I done been delivered, okay? But I had to do them. They thought that they was gonna mishandle me. I had to show them something, okay? But he did good, and shout out to him, because we get along pretty cool now. Um, Rest in peace to his mother. He lost his mom and about a week or so ago. And I've always seen him real emotionless. And of course anybody would be, because I said he's the reason I never dated another North Memphis guy, okay? But he always worked, okay? He always worked. And he a cool guy. He was. I was something else too. I was something else. I had a smart mouth. I was spoiled. I threw bombs at them, and then I was working right in the police department, so I had them to help me to do whatever. Okay, they could never hide. He never tried to hide. Okay, the other one was so handsome. He was a Rolling Stone because the women loved him. You know how they are about them mixed men. I wouldn't, but they was. So he was like a Rolling Stone. So we always had to do something a little strange to catch up with him. But he doing pretty good for himself now. I had to pray for him because he went through a whole lot too. And as I saw, like he lost his mother, he lost his sister, and I think my daughter, like, I'm so glad that my daughter spends time with her dad. I don't know what to do. I am. I'm really both of them spend time with their fathers. That makes me extremely happy. Okay, it makes me happy. Um, but yeah, Lord, please let it be my oldest daughter's dad, the one that still owes me all those arrearages to hit the lottery, because the one from out of North Memphis, he already paid. He don't have to. He's done paying child support. He paid all his arrearages, and I told him I ain't sure he probably messing with somebody at the child support office, because I can't. I don't think he was finished paying them. They wiped it clean for him because don't get me started because he's a whoremonger. He a little quiet, little whoremonger. But I would hate for it to be him to hit the lottery because then I might have to go back to him to get to try to get some of that money. I don't want to have to go back to him because they don't owe me no child support to get some of their money. I'm just joking, y'all. He be in the chat. He be in the chat in the bushes. So I have to mess with him. He be in the chat in the bushes. Um, hey now, ain't nothing wrong with North Memphis niggas. Shout out to North Memphis. It sure ain't. It's nothing wrong with North Memphis, guys. Ooh, they just ain't for me, child. But it ain't nothing wrong with him. Okay, he was real quiet. He was quiet and bad. He was quiet and bad. I remember he called me one day. He said, this how he talked. This how he talked. He said, and my daughter, oh my God, my youngest daughter talks just like him. She got her dad's voice. He said, Tamara, yeah, Tamara. I said, yeah, because I couldn't stand him. Yeah. I said, yeah, what? You know that did you see that situation that happened on the news where the dude put the police on the chase, and then the police ended up shooting him and killing him in North Memphis? He said, Lord, Tam, you're gonna snuggle up to baby daddy if he gets that. If he get them billions. Yes, indeed. I'm telling you, I'll be ready. I'll marry him for the money. Y'all, that's a joke. We having fun, y'all. I'm I would pray. This is what I would pray, that I'm the mother of his daughter, of one of them. I'm one of them, okay? Because he got another one. I'm the mother of his daughter. I would think if he won $1 billion that he would want to give me some. I've raised his daughter. I raised his daughter basically by myself. Okay, me and my mom and my grandmama and my daddy. Okay, we all raised his daughter. So I would think that he would want to give me something without it's gonna have to be without strings attached. Hey, Anthony Coleman. But what was I talking about? Y'all all over the place. And I tell you, I went to a holiday party tonight. It was really nice. Uh, y'all, what was we talking about? My daughter's dad's hitting the lottery. But now, if my oldest daughter's father hit the lottery, he's from out of Binghamton. I'm gonna be in good shape because he gonna owe me until he die. He gonna owe me until he die. Poor guy, poor old guy, stuck paying arrearages until he croak out. He said, Tam, did you hear about that white dude in Michigan? He won the lottery a month after he got divorced from his wife and then wanted to take her off of alimony. Bro was wild, and he probably won her back. Is Binghamton North? I didn't know Binghamton was considered North Memphis. Are you sure? Because when I think about Binghamton, I think about like, okay, so you go down Poplar, you turn on Holmes. He from over there on Johnson Circle, child. Um, I didn't know that was North Memphis. I don't know what I thought it was, but I didn't think it was North Memphis. Because East High School is right there in front of there. I don't know why I thought it was East Memphis. So he a North Memphis dude too. No wonder. No wonder. Oh Lord Jesus. I just messed my life up. I should have just stayed in South Memphis. Okay, that's what I should have did. So I got kids with two North Memphis dudes. Oh my God. No wonder. Mm, mm, mm. Lord have mercy. Are you sure? Because somebody help me out. Binghamton is East Memphis. Because East High School is right in the front of there. And then when you go up a little bit, it's Highland. When you go up a little bit, it's Highland. Isn't that East Memphis? I mean, it's Midtown. No, it ain't Midtown. It's over there by the University of Memphis or something. I ain't never heard Binghamton was you trying. Oh, don't scare me like that. I ain't never heard Binghamton was North Memphis. Y'all sure? Wait a minute. Let me think. Oh Lord, Lord, this is why I had so much bad luck. Both of them were North Memphis, Lord. Since Binghamton is right under Hollywood, it's North Memphis, but it goes all the way to Midtown, though. Well, he definitely wasn't in the Midtown part. So I guess he was in the North Memphis part. Oh my God. You just came in here and traumatized me. Because I thought about it. I was like, Lord, I got a child by dude in East Memphis, in the hood of East Memphis, because you know where he's from the hood. Okay. And I got one from out of I messed around and messed with a North Memphis dude. And you trying to tell me I got kids by two North Memphis dudes? This is why my life has been made a living hell. Oh my God. Says Home Street to the east, Poplar to the south, Hollywood to the north. He from Alpha Johnson Circle. Rochelle says, no, my ex-husband is from Binghamton. He went to East. It's North Memphis. My granny said Binghamton have different types of dudes. Oh my God. Mm, mm. So I got my daughters are with two North Memphis guys. Oh my God. Um, Binghamton is no wonder. They act alike too. Okay. One of them was just real, his personality was real bubbly, and he was more of a con artist. He was handsome. He was real gorgeous. So he just didn't know how to act right. Okay. He ain't there now, but he was then. The other one, he real quiet and sneaky, and like I said, he called me one day. We didn't talk much. Um, we just didn't talk much because we stayed into it a lot. I wish I should have got I should have it should have been from out of Westwood. I would feel better if he was from out of Westwood and Boxtown. That's South Memphis. I should have stayed in the South. I'm trying to figure out them North Memphis guys was coming out of North Memphis into South Memphis into the Whitehaven area. They should have. If I had known what I know now, I would have told them, y'all can't come over here into South Memphis. She said you took the words out of my mouth, con artist. I'm telling you, that's what he was. He said, "So you want a voodoo?" I might would have did better. Well, you know what? Maybe that's the reason why they thought they was trying to do it like that. I'm glad I did put the hammer down on them. Now I had to show them. They thought maybe they thought, oh, okay, well, she from out of South Memphis. We're gonna be able to do this and that. I showed them. I sure did. I held it down, so the South Memphis men don't be mad. I held it down because I put them Negroes through hell. Um, so Westwood. So you shout out to North Memphis though. My dad grew up in North Memphis. My dad grew up in North. He said some of North Memphis dudes would come to South Memphis, but they not supposed to go. I didn't know that, and they was coming to North. I mean, they was coming in South Memphis. Like when I mean that, like it wasn't nothing. But we lived in a nice neighborhood, so I guess they feel like they was, after we left Clementine. I don't think they would have came into Clementine, but we left Clementine when I was 12 years old. So when they started coming around, I was grown. And we had left Clementine way years before that. I cannot believe Binghamton is North Memphis. Oh my God. Says, man, them South Memphis girls was wild back in the days, Walker homes. They was not wild. No, South Memphis girls were not wild. I remember, listen, I remember my oldest daughter's dad, because he was an old coon. He was older than me. I never should even been dealing with him. He was like, I was 19. He was about 26. And I remember he made a joke one time. He was like, you know what, you have to be careful about the girls around here. They walk on top of glass bare feet. I said, what? They walk on top of glass bare feet around here. So I don't even want to expose you to nothing like that. Lord Jesus. And Binghamton is North Memphis. No wonder. He said, oh yeah, it was a death wish in the 90s moving through them homes. Trust me. Them dudes in South Memphis didn't play. But I don't think they had no issues with, I don't guess. After we left the hood, I would go back up to like South Memphis, like around Bullington, and they've torn my auntie's house down on Bullington Street. Like around Bullington and Taylor, off of South Parkway, to, hang with my cousins. But my mama didn't let me do that a whole lot because she didn't want me walking around the streets of South Memphis for some reason. Well, I understand why, but it was sporadic. She just didn't, I couldn't go up there every weekend. It had to be something like if one of my cousins was having a party and she would drop me off, and then she would always come back and get me like a few hours later. Well, I didn't want to get black dark because we had fun up there. It would be us, my cousins. It would be Gangsta Black, Courtney. We called him Courtney. That's his name, Courtney. And Marcus. Um, my cousin said that the other guy would be around there too. Fly. I don't remember him. I don't know about or no, I've never heard of that street or Gill. Where is that located at? He says now South Memphis and North Memphis had beef back in the 90s. It calmed down for a bit, then revived through Fam Mob, Young Mob in modern times. Oh wow. It says Courtney used to work at the Boys Club back in the day. Oh wow. Wow. I know he lived down his grandmother was alive at that time. He lived down there with his grandmother. He was cool people. I fixed him up with Vanessa. And let's see, it would be me, Marcus, Courtney. They say Player Flowers out there. It was a whole lot of it was a cool crowd. Like it was they were bad, but when they would be around us, I mean, even when dudes was bad back then, they like to hang around the girls. They would be hanging around us and be joking, and that back then they just like to make the girls laugh, make us laugh all the time, be sitting up there hanging with us. I didn't smoke no weed, so they didn't smoke weed around me. And so you know, mm, I was good, but we were teenagers. Um my cousin and my auntie would have little coolers and stuff in the refrigerator. So my cousins and that would steal some of those. But my cousins were a couple years older than me, they're like 17, 18. But we had a lot of fun. Like we would be walking all around that area, like Trigg, and I had an auntie lived on Trigg. She's passed away now. We would be from like Bullington. Well, it would be nighttime, and we would be walking, and the guys would be walking right with us. We didn't have no trouble. Like nobody stopped trying to rob us or anything like that. We would be from Bullington, Taylor to Bullington to Trigg to Roanoke, to Richmond, all around those little areas, walking, at nighttime. It was just fun, just laughing and tripping and all of that good stuff. Oh, it's off of Bellevue. Okay. In South Memphis over by Hamilton Middle School. Oh, my auntie lived direct. I had an auntie, my great aunt lived directly across the street from Hamilton Elementary. And I remember that because they used to have like a park, like monkey bars and stuff. So when I went over to her house, that she had something at her house. Us kids, we would run across the street and hang on the monkey bars and all of that. The school is still over there, but the monkey bars ain't over there no more. Cause one day I had a case over that way, and I went down the street, and it just brought back so much many memories. My crazy cousin, my auntie left them a paid for house, paid for, and they was living in it, and wouldn't pay the taxes on it. Do y'all hear me? A paid for house, and they ended up getting put out of the house. How sorry can one be? And and then hey, the house sat there. I wish I had bought it. I should have bought it at that time, but that was so long ago. I wasn't business minded at that time. But they tore the house down. So all of those houses are still there. So when I ride by there, I see her land just empty. Her lot. My grandfather used to stay in the area before my grandmother used to stay in the area before she passed away. That actually happens a lot. Yeah, it does. It happens a lot in Memphis. Unfortunately. 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 I told y'all about one time when I was working for the police department, when I was working for MPD, when I was a transcriptionist. That was before I went through the academy. I remember Ed. Ed is he retired, and he's a investigator for the prosecutor's office now. Ed a good guy. Um for the state prosecutor, that at the DA's office. And so Ed told me, he said, Tamara, I got a guy coming up, and I need you to type the statement. I said, okay. He said, yeah. The officers, cause see, I think they still do that now when it's a felony or whatever. They have to take them to. At the time, it was felony response. I think now they go to the precincts. They still have to question them. And so he said, yeah, the guy from out of Binghamton, it sparked my interest. I said, really? And then I started looking at the street. I was like, oh my God, like my daughter's dad live over there. So and so I sat right down. I was like, okay, I sat right there and waited for them officers to bring him in. And so when he brought him in, I looked at him. He walked in, he was tall and handsome. He was a good looking guy. And so his charges were um well his brother had walked in on him having intercourse with his daughter. This was his own biological daughter that he was having intercourse with. So, anyways, the girl was at that point she was 17. And so when the brother walked in on them in the act, he called the police on him. And they brought him up there and that guy was going in. Because when I saw him, I was like, wow, I wonder if that's true. Like he was very handsome. So then he was like, so anyways, I remember Ed, who's a real laid back cool guy. He's a deacon at church. Okay, so he never cussed, nothing, just a good mellowed out dude. And other lady name, that was Lady Isabel. So Isabel was sitting there. Isabel was tall and she had a brick house shape. Okay, so she's sitting there looking in the mirror, and I mean he was going in, and they was letting him get it all out. And so he was like, yeah, I got plenty of gals. I ain't gotta mess with my daughter. I got plenty of gals. I mean, he was cussing and acting a fool. And I was looking at it. I was looking at it. I mean, he was real clean cut, all of that. Shoes and stuff clean. Okay. I'll be looking at me in shoes. Looking at his tennis shoes and stuff. I mean, just a clean cut guy. And then he sat there for like 30 minutes. Okay, after they set his ass down up there. And then all of a sudden they turned on him. They let him get it all out and they turned it on him. They broke him down. And so I'm sitting there typing and stuff. And all of a sudden that man said, I know I was wrong for doing that to my daughter. He was about 36 at the time. I know I was wrong, but she was acting like she was liking it. I I was like, oh my God, I started hyperventilating because I'm gonna tell y'all something that happened at that time when because when he came up there, he was irate. Okay, he was kind of irate, and then he started talking to y'all. I would ask a lot of questions, like you know, especially I mean, they be one for the person to get comfortable anyway. So he lived right around the area and knew like my daughter's dad. And so anyways, once they started breaking him down and he started talking about, he knew he was wrong. And anyways, when they talked to his daughter said that her mother was on drugs. And so when she was 10 years old, the state gave her to her dad and his mom, because he was living with his mama, um, because of her mother having a drug addiction. And she says as soon as she moved into that house, they placed her in the house. Her daddy immediately started messing with her. She said it went from him putting his hands in her to him rubbing up against her. And she said it took about a year or so when she turned like 11 for him to start penetrating her, okay, and getting her to do other things to him. So, every now and again, because I always remember his name, It's really sad. And so here's the thing that was so messed up about it, because she said that when she told her grandmother that her dad did this to her, she said her grandmother, his mama, which is her grandmother, told her, "Shut up. Don't you ever say that again. Your dad didn't do that." So she said she just learned to like it. You know, in order to get through it, she fixed her mind, because at 17 years old, she was still having intercourse with her father. Okay. And this black cuckabug kid talking about he a thug and he doing this to his daughter. Now, every now and again, I get to thinking, especially when I was working MPD, I would always go into their system and see if he had been arrested. I would always get curious about him. I still remember his name. He probably dead now, hopefully. Okay. Because I looked for him the other day. I ain't seen no records on him. So maybe he done croaked. And so because he is definitely dangerous as it relates to anybody. If he'll do it to his daughter, who he'll do it to anybody. And so I was looking in their system one day. I decided to run his information, his name, and a report came up. This was some years back, a lot of years back. And I was reading the report. He was living with a girl, and the girl had a paraplegic son. The girl had a paraplegic son, and she had went to work. I don't know what it is about these women like to leave these kids with these men. And the girl's mother said that she stopped by there because he had basically isolated her. So she stopped by there, and she said her grandson was complaining, even though he couldn't walk. She said he was born like that. He was complaining about his bottom was hurting. And so she said she told the freako, okay, the dude that I'm talking about in the beginning, she told him she was gonna take her grandson with her. And so she said that when she took him with her, he told her, the grandmother, that every time he changed his diaper, he was poking his fingers in his bottom. And so she immediately took the child to this was a boy child. She immediately took the child to the child advocacy center, and they have to do like an examination. And I remember reading in the notes, the child's he had been poking in his they said the child bottom was just so raw, like from like and broken and messed up just from him terrorizing that child. This is a paraplegic child poking his fingers and stuff in that child's butt. Ain't it? Anus. Let me see something. I hope he dead. Let's see. Because I get mad every time I think about that. And it's been years ago. Let me see, this freak dead. I don't know if he dead or not, but I'm getting ready to see. He need to be. Hold on. I get mad. I ain't gonna show y'all his name. I need to show us somebody. Oh, so he's still on the sexual offenders. Wait a minute now. Y'all, he done did something recently, Lord. Woo! Lord, have mercy. Low down dog. Let me tell y'all something. Remember that there was a rapist in Binghamton. Now, those people that live in Memphis, y'all know what I'm talking about. Every summer, that rapist would strike. They never caught him. He would strike, and then he would go some summers without striking, and then he would strike again. Okay. And I feel like they didn't do enough, because over there in Binghamton, it was a number of black people. Okay. I believe it was him. I thought he was dead, and he ain't. Now I'm upset. Oh my God. Hold on, y'all. Just give me a moment. I'm trying to read some. His mama done died. His mama dead. She done died, y'all. Woo! She look evil too. Mm. And they said she was on the motherboard. Mm. Mm-mm. I don't wish death on nobody, but she dead and gone on somewhere. Cause see, she could have protected that child, but she wanted to protect her son, and more than likely, and that was her own grandchild. She knew her son was sick. Now she dead and gone on somewhere. Okay. Oh, it's just sad. Should have took him with her. Hell, he left still being a freak. Anyways, y'all, we just gotta pray about stuff like this. See, while these men around, don't get me started, Lord. I don't want to get started tonight. I came on here to talk about something else. I forget what I came on here to talk about. The task force. That I ain't even. I don't even know how I got into talking about this. That situation with him happened when I was working for MPD back in the first situation back in 2002. It was 2002 because that was when I was working up there in felony response because I worked in felony response for maybe 2 years, and then I went through the academy and they put me out in traffic and back in Crime Stoppers later on. So it had to have been around the 2002 time frame. Mm. See, y'all, this is the type of stuff that I talk about, like the traumas and stuff that kids go through. And we're so quick to, when we're talking about a girl, a young girl is a whore, or a woman is a hoe and she hoeing, and you know what I mean? Like a lot of these women and men have been traumatized. So that's why I always say it's you have to get to the root of the problem before you really start judging people. Okay. And I think even being on here, I've kind of learned quite a bit about because I have not been around a lot of people in my life. I haven't. I lived a real sheltered life. I did what I wanted to do, but because I lived a sheltered life, I didn't want to do a whole lot. Okay. And so what I've learned is, especially since social media has made everybody feel like everybody is so accessible. When people have gone through hell and they've lived a real bad life. When I get on here and I talk about, I had a good father, a good mother. Um, Even though I grew up in Clementine until I was 12 years old, I still had a happy life. Sometimes when people have gone through hell, and if they were children, it's not their fault. But broken children turn into broken adults if something is not done about it. So it'll make them peek in here in my vlog and hate me. Who she thinks she is, talking about how mama good. They be wishing death and stuff all on your parents. So God gonna take her parents away because she talk about it when you. I'm really just giving my folks their flowers as anybody should give to their parents. But when people are broken, they don't see it like that, right? And so what I've had to do is be more understanding of now, some people just low down. You can't fix jealousy, but I've had to be more understanding of adults with the level of trauma that they have because I am very like understanding. I be want to coddle every child, every y'all see how I was crying and stuff when I wanted Straight Drop to get convicted, but y'all see how I was crying and stuff when Straight Drop had gotten convicted because all I could think about was Straight Drop was in the age range of those young men that I used to go and mentor when they was over there at Jail East, right? And so I be wanting to coddle kids and keep them safe and love them just like I do animals and stuff. The same thing I be wanting to do with seniors because seniors are very, very vulnerable. That's why I don't know how people can have parents and um and not go check on them, not go make sure that they're okay, not go take care of them. Cause I'll be trying to give my mama everything she want. Okay, my mama, even we was living in the projects, my mama tried to give me everything, and she probably shouldn't have, because she had me real spoiled. And so now I do the same thing. I be trying to give, and my mama does not ask for much. So even if she don't ask for it, if I hear her, if she get to talking about, well, it's time to pay this, it's time to pay that. She don't complain, and so I'll tell my sister, you know what? It's about time for them taxes to be paid or whatever. So what we need to do is she kind of groaning, but she ain't gonna dare ask us to do nothing. I think we need to go ahead and do that for her or something like that. And my girls got her just as spoiled because they was taught, that's my mama, that's their granny. They granny tried to give them everything. She gave them. I told her she coddled them girls way more than she ever did me because she whooped me. She never whooped them or my sister, but I got whoopings. Okay, because she said I talk back. And so I don't see how people can't check on their elderly as their parents and stuff start to get older. How could you not want to do something like that? That's why even with the issues that I had with my girls' dads, I never told my girls anything. You know how when women are mad, and I think women got it bad about doing it when they're mad at the fathers of their children, they will you know outsource that to the kids. You just like your daddy. Your daddy don't love you, and they talking all bad about the dad. Now I talk bad about their behinds, but I didn't do it in front of my children because I didn't want to influence my girls. So whatever I said about them, I made sure my girls didn't hear it. And so because I didn't want to influence them, and that's why now they can have good relationships. And so what you have to do is you have to be very careful about what you put into the atmosphere. I never would have told my never wanted to ever make my daughters think that their fathers didn't love them, because believe it or not, girls will internalize that, and then it will mess with their psyche. It makes them vulnerable to um, young men. My dad didn't love me. The first young man that say that they love him, they fall and prey to him because they feel like their own father didn't love them. This is a man that loves me. So I think that women should stop doing that. Don't. It's a lot of things that should not be said or done in front of the kids. We got to let these children be children. These grown folks gonna have to deal with their own problems. Choose better. I can talk, okay, because I didn't choose good. So I'm in the same category as every other woman, okay, that didn't choose right. So that's why I said we have to choose better. Choose who you have. Be deliberate about who you have these kids with. Okay. It just I didn't have no idea I was both of them was from North Memphis, okay, but they from way on different sides of North Memphis. But I tried, okay. I had got a baby about one, he didn't do right, and I tried. I got another one. I didn't have babies by 100. Just because you hear a lot of women say they brag, they be bragging about they having babies with all my babies match. And y'all, I started hearing that. I ain't started hearing that match stuff until I got grown. I hollered. I holler when I hear women. All my babies match. Yeah, but the dad ain't no good. They'll try to say you got two kids by two different men. Well, I mean, one didn't act right. At least I didn't stay. I try to see what was up with the other one. But they be bragging about this man, one man who ain't never did right. Okay, never did right. They talking about my kids. All my kids match. He says Tam got 2 for 2 north. Oh Lord, please don't remind me. I'm gonna have to look at that map because I was sitting here looking at that. Because see, um, the part of Binghamton, when you go down Holmes, like you go down Poplar, and Highland is right up there up the street. So I believe is it could, because then when you turn right on Highland, you go down, you in Orange Mound. So I mean, it might be he probably from the South Memphis part of Binghamton. It's closer to Orange Mound because when you go down, because Highland is up the street, you go down Poplar, turn left on Holmes, and then straight into the projects. Okay. Anyways, y'all, make sure y'all hit that like button. Okay, make sure you guys please like, share, and subscribe. Oh wow. Tam, I done told you Binghamton is no. Mm, mm, mm. Only thing I can say is they got me. No wonder, because I mean they were not much different, child. They was one was I probably should have been scared of my second daughter's dad. He was from over there off of Steel. He grew up around like Steel. I probably should have been scared of him because he was real quiet and sneaky, and his brothers and stuff. His brothers and them still terrible. Okay, I guess he had a redemption, but he always was sneaky with what he did. Because anytime you hanging with your best friends and stuff, people that out there shooting out with the police and stuff, that means you got to be just like them. You hanging with them. You gonna deny it? He said you gonna deny it, deny it. I'm telling you, I'm having a hard time digesting that Binghamton is in North Memphis. Lord Jesus, I promise you, I didn't know it. I didn't know it. I'm thinking it's like some part of East Memphis, because I don't know what I thought it was the hoods of East Memphis, like Southeast Memphis. That's what I thought, because um Orange Mound, parts of Orange Mound is really considered Southeast Memphis. That's why the precinct over there, they call it, now it's Airway Station, but when I was working there, it was called Southeast Precinct. Because I think those wards went all the way up to Highland Street and around Highland Street. Lord have mercy. He said, "Hold up, Steel Street is in Fraser Town." I thought. Well, Fraser is North Memphis. Fraser is a. If you ask me, it's a sector of North Memphis. I'm telling you exactly where he lived at in that time. During that time, he lived. They lived in a place called Steel Manor. Steel, I believe it's called like the Steel Manor or something like that. He got 7 brothers. 7. He a cool dude though. He is. He's cool. He is. He a cool guy. He would cheat though. He would cheat. He was sneaky. He was a little sneaky little cheater. He would be cheating. And he would be cheating, and those girls was crazy too. That he was his it was his kids. I shouldn't have dated him because he already had 2 kids with 2 different women. He one but 23. This is girl. I'm from Fraser. That's the North man. I hope I ain't related to one of your baby daddies. Shit, that's too close to my um. I don't know. You might be, cause he got a lot of brothers. He has 7 brothers. His mama had 8 boys. She had 8 boys. It was a lot of them, and they were bad too. He was the baby boy. You know what? He would have been. He always worked and stuff. He was a cool guy. He just it was a lot of it was me too, but he was a cheater. Okay, he was probably just gonna cheat anyways. But he was a cool dude. Like every weekend we went out. Like we spent every weekend together. Cause he was not even my type. He was not my type. I wasn't interested in him. At that time we had pages and stuff. He would be constantly paging me. I was like, "Ugh, I don't want to talk to him." Then I started talking to him because I was talking to another guy. And then I was like, I started going out with him, just going to like we would go to movies like he got paid every Friday. And so he would always say on Thursdays, um, would you go out with me this Friday? We went out every single weekend. I ended up liking him. I spent so much time with him. I was like, well, too loose to the other dude because he ain't talking about nothing. But I had never even really been in North Memphis like that until I started. I don't even think I don't I had not I didn't remember being in North Memphis until I started going with him. I remember being in North Memphis when I was a little girl, because my dad and them still got that house over there. My auntie owned it. My dad grew up on Norman Street until he was 16. And then they moved to Whitehaven. They moved to Whitehaven. He started going to Fairleigh and met my mother. Um, yeah, yeah. That my dad grew up on Norman. My dad grew up on Norman. I remember that house, and I remember because they kept the house even when they moved out of it because my granddad had paid for the house. So family members and stuff would live in the house. My auntie owns the house now and she rents it out. Um, but yeah, so basically my dad grew up in North Memphis because he didn't move to they got a bigger house on Tulane. It was a house though, but it was on Tulane. And It was a nicer house because that house on Norman Street was raggedy. I remember that as a baby, as a little girl. I ain't like being up in there. And and so they got the house on Tulane, which was a lot nicer, you know. And my mother grew up on Shane Lane. And so after they came from out of Mississippi, so she was a country girl. And let's see, one, two, three. My dad and my mama lived 3 houses from each other. And they went to Fairleigh. So growing up, I was always, when I was at, because that's a family house. My family still owns that house on Shane Lane. As a matter of fact, I got several members of my family that lives on Shane Lane. One of my great aunts is still alive. So I'm always down that way to see her. She's in her 80s. But I was always out of one house in the other house because my dad's mom lived in the house on, because when you go down Shane Lane, it curves into Tulane. So it would curve into Tulane. My grandma lived in that house, and then my great grandma lived in the house on Shane Lane. So that's something. That's weird. It's not weird. It's, I get to thinking about it now because I had a really good childhood. I really enjoyed it. I think I miss my dad's mom because I didn't go see my dad's mom. I would go see her, but not a whole lot. Each and every time I would skip around there because I used to like to skip, or I would jump rope. My mom always had me a jump rope. I used to like to jump rope everywhere. Instead of walking, I'd be jumping rope. I would jump rope around to my grandmother's house. I think about that every time I went to my dad's mama's house. Every time I would jump rope around there, I remember she would always grab me. And she always, and I used to wonder, because I used to always say, Grandmama, did you know I was coming? She would always have like some change sitting up on the end of her couch. And always before I left, she was like, Here. I was like, Grandmama, did you know I was coming? Because she always had some money for me. She always, and it would be like, back then, $2 or $3 was a lot of money. We would go to the candy lady and just go crazy. So I miss my dad's mom too. She was a cool person. It says, girl, why did they end up beefing with each other? One called the health department on the other. Wait a minute. Norman had two freeze cup. The Norman Street had two freeze cup ladies, so one got jealous because the other one was making more money. She said Norman had two freeze cup ladies back in the days. Girl, they did. Why they end up beefing with each other? One called the health department on the other, and the health department made both of them stop selling candy and freeze cup. Lord have mercy. The freeze cup ladies done told on each other. Lord have mercy. Them freeze cups used to be so good. Oh my God. Especially the sweeter they were. Oh, they were so good because it was just Kool-Aid anyways. I think when we lived in Clementine, we had a popsicle lady, we had an ice cream lady. I think about we used to go in there and we would pay 25 cents for we would pay 25 cents for an ice cream cone. I was talking to Vanessa about that the other day. I said, Vanessa, remember we used to go in there? We used to love it. Like she would have vanilla. She would say, What you want? Vanilla. She was an old lady. She could barely walk. As a matter of fact, I don't know because she would be, she was old. She was like probably in her late 60s. And she would be barely getting up. I said, Vanessa, remember we used to be glad when the lady had ice cream and then she would get that ice cream scoop and Ice cream was running all down our hands and shit. Like that was nasty. But we would be in there. We would be over there buying ice cream, y'all. Cause in the living in the projects, we were happy, especially back then, like to be able to go. We would go get the penny candy, 25 cents would get us 25 pieces of candy. So we had several candy ladies over there because some went up to 2 cents. We didn't deal with the candy lady that liked to sell the penny candy for 2 cents. If we had enough to get a pickle, oh my God, we were so happy. A pickle, 25 pieces of candy. We would be good and sugary and lit up, but we didn't have no diabetes or nothing. I guess because we was walking around. I think they putting something in the sweet stuff now to make your glucose high. But because we ate a lot of, I mean, you would think that we would have had diabetes. We used to take a whole damn. Everybody in the hood did it. Take a whole damn bag of sugar and put it in Kool-Aid and drink it. Stir it up and drink it. We ain't have no issues. Says that's a fact. One lady charged 10 cents on the other end, and the one closest to Hollywood charged 15 cents. But they was beefing. When we moved over there, when we left Clementine and moved over to Twinkletown, I kind of had a little shock. Now DJ Paul and them was living over there in Twinkletown. But I kind of had a little shock. We didn't have no candy ladies. Nothing. So I kind of had a little shock. I had to get used to it. We had at the time it was called Lightning Burger. It was a Lightning Burger. And we used to walk up there. It was a 7-Eleven and a Lightning Burger over there by Elvis Presley's house. I don't know why I be getting paranoid and just be thinking somebody hacking into my computer. I don't know what they think they're gonna get. Because something just jumped up on my computer just like that while I'm sitting here looking at it. Um, she says Twinkletown shit, Mugs had some money over there. Yeah. Yeah, Paul family had money. Paul's dad was a he had a successful pest control company. DJ Paul. It would be him and Ricky lived over there too. Infamous Lord, whatever they call him. But he lived in there with them. And Ricky was so quiet. He would just be following Paul around. They would be up there. Vanessa was there. They would just be up there like in our driveway and stuff. If they seen us out, Paul had a red moped or whatever you call it. He would be riding it. I don't know if I ever seen Ricky on the back of that moped with Paul. Paul was grouchy and stuff even back then. But Ricky would just be following him around, and he was quiet. He was real cool. He just kind of did whatever Paul said to. And I think Ricky was older than Paul. But we thought that they was brothers. We thought they called each other's brothers, but I guess they grew up. I stayed in the middle in the second drive. So I guess that would be considered like the front. Because that was a first drive. Right. Ricky was Paul's nephew. We later found out like somebody in the neighborhood was like, they're not brothers. That they call each other brothers because they raised together, but um Paul is actually his uncle. I was like, wow, I did not know that. Um But I guess if his Paul's dad was raising Ricky, that I guess they would be like brothers, right? But we lived in the second drive. When you first came in, it was the first drive, then there was the middle drive, second drive, which would be like the middle drive, and then there was the last drive, which was the back. So I guess we stay in closer to the front. Yeah, I be getting so upset when I ride past there and I see that those apartments are torn down. I had so much fun living and growing up there. It was family orientated. We were able to be children. I just had a lot of fun. I'm not ashamed of it. I would never be ashamed of where I came from anyways. But I just really enjoyed it so much. I be reminiscing a lot about how we all used to run around and stuff, and that was when people really cared about each other. It's funny because I remember Paul used to say he had a brother named Craig, and he used to talk about a brother named Craig, and because it was a lot of them, it was quite a bit of them. And Craig used to come through there in a Corvette, a drop top. I'm thinking about it now, in a drop top Corvette, and he would always have a pretty girl with him. And Paul would always be excited when he saw Craig, and he would come through there quite a bit. He would be in a drop top Corvette he always had a pretty girl with him. Yeah, Paul had a lot of brothers. Paul's dad, though, um, and his dad's brothers, they had a gospel group. So I would think that he taught Paul the business. That's how Paul was able to cheat everybody. But hey, I'm surprised that he would do that to Ricky. Like you would think that Paul and Ricky would. Well, I hate, I wouldn't want him to do that to anybody. But I mean, they was telling me how he did Ricky. I just don't want to believe he did Ricky like that. Yeah, yep, sure was. It was called the Borgard Brothers, I believe. Because my grandma and them said they used to go to the churches and stuff. That's when those gospel groups and stuff would come to churches, like people made sure they got out and went to the churches and supported them. It would always be like on a Sunday after church. Dub JJ said Ricky wouldn't leave the drugs alone. Oh, wow. When I be going over there to my mama house, I turn down the street. I see Paul in them old house. It always, it just it still look the same. Like they have not the people that live in it's still the same color. It's nice. It's a beautiful home, but it's still the same color, everything. You know how most like that's been so many years ago because we were still teenagers. So you a lot of times like my mom has painted her house and stuff, but Paul in them house there is still the same color. It's still everything is still just the same. It says Paul is trying to make things right, I guess, at least with Crunchy, and him and Juicy never stop rocking, at least business wise. Shit, they just won a lawsuit for 6 million a few days ago. Wow. Is they gonna give Crunchy Black any other money? Do Crunchy Black get any of that 6 million? Or they gonna cut him out? Or they gonna cut Crunchy out? Now, let's not get ahead of ourselves. Oh Lord, they need to give Crunchy some money. Listen, my mama, even back then, like my mama was old, but she would be considered what we looked at as being old, but she was really young. And so my mama used to like to look at for number one, my mama remember Paul. Like my mama and Paul used to joke a lot. They used to joke a lot because Paul was always real quick witted and he was bad. He was real, he was real mean spirited. Okay, he was just grouchy. But he was funny. He was a real funny person though. But so my mother was really proud of Paul because believe it or not, honestly, Paul started DJing and stuff. He started working hard like when he was like around out. He was, I think Paul was like 16 then. Like so he was DJing and trying to get his stuff going. So he had worked really hard. I have to say that. And I know that because I grew up in the same neighborhood with him. So when he would be standing out there with us and talking about I remember one time he was really excited. He was standing out there because we used to always be in our driveway. And he came up there and me and my cousins and stuff was out there and he was just excited because he was like, this rapper named Gangsta Pat said that he gonna work with me. And I didn't really know a whole lot about rap. I remember that too. He was like, yeah, Gangsta Pat said he gonna work with me. He gonna help me. And he was really excited and stuff. Um, I later found out who Gangsta Pat was. It's funny how life is because I didn't know who he was at that point. I didn't know who he was, period. Until like my cousins had started listening to his music. And he had this song called that my cousins and them used to play all of the time called Shooting on Narcs. And so then when I started hearing my cousins and stuff say, yeah, that's a little dude from up out of Hillcrest that's rapping that song. I didn't listen to no rap music, so I know it's something. I end up dating him years later. That's weird, huh? Like a lot of years later, way after he was out of the business. And I know people say, yeah, Gangster Pat, this, and that. Gangster Pat was so different with me that it was ridiculous. Like when folks say whatever his life, I don't know what it was because I ran him. So and he be in the bushes too, and he ain't gonna say nothing. Gangster Pat never was disrespectful to me. He was one of the most respectful men that I've ever dated. Okay. So he was a real cool guy. He was very cool, very giving, real methodical, and he's got like a brilliant mind. A lot of people don't know that, as far as musically and all of that, he real calm and stuff. Cause I'm real like hyper. I could be hyper and just he was just always real calm. He always kept me real calm. So Pat was a cool guy. He a cheater too though. That's why we ain't together. Leave me alone. Y'all leave me alone. Y'all making this seem like I've been told y'all I dated him. I dated him for a very long time. He was one of the guys that I truly was in love with. Why you say that? Oh Lord Jesus, Pat a cool guy. He's cool. I'm gonna tell y'all something. Oh Lord, I think I might be. I see. I done been at a party, holiday party. I'm gonna tell y'all something. Them lawyers gave a great party tonight. They always do. Can't nobody say that white people just don't know how to give a party. They have good drinks and good food, and they know how to party. Okay, and the party was until, so they probably still up in there. Okay, It was one of the lawyer's house. It was house is so beautiful. I'm gonna tell y'all how me and Gangsta Pat started talking, right? So somebody had said to me, it was like, you need to start like interviewing. It would be a good idea, like if you start like interviewing different people, like different artists and stuff. Like this is when I was really doing my TV show 100. And you should start interviewing like different people from like around the city, and like it's a lot of artists. And me, how I am, I was like, well, I don't really want to deal with them young artists. I don't want to deal with them, period. And I'm gonna tell y'all artists that I really hate that I did not interview, and that was Rich Lord. Okay, he ended up going to over to their production company and letting them interview him. That Thaddeus was on, but I was paranoid back then because y'all, I told y'all I had a stalker back then. It's on paper. I'm telling y'all, I didn't know who Rich Lord and them was because I didn't know nothing about no rappers. So, anyways, I was like, well, I'll start interviewing like old school rappers. And so somebody was like, well, why don't you interview like old school rappers from around the city? They mentioned like Frazier Boy, they mentioned like they named a whole lot of people, and then there was like Gangsta Pat too, you know. And so I had remembered Gangsta Pat from when I remember Paul had mentioned him years, you know, when we were teenagers, and when my cousins were talking about him. It stood out. I was like, okay. So I was like, they was like, I was like, well, I don't know how to get in touch with none of them. Like I said, this is when I first started, you know, like my TV show on Comcast was newly. And so anyways, they was like, well, maybe you can reach out to him like on social media or something. I was like, well, okay. So, anyways, I did, and he answered. So I told him my studio was in Whitehaven. So he actually came over. The interview is actually on. I put the interview on YouTube. So he came over to my studio, and he was kind of weird to me because he was funny, but then he was kind of weird because after the show ended, you know, when the show ended, I be wanting folks to go on here and get up out of my studio, right? So then after the show ended, after we finished recording, he sat there in my recording room, and I was like, well, thank you for, you know, coming over, you know, recording. He was just sitting there looking at me. And then he looked at, I remember he said, my nails was blue. Here, my right hand to the Lord. He was like, I like your nails. And I remember saying to myself, this guy is creepy. But he said, I like your fingernails. I said, thank you. In my mind, I was thinking, oh my God, this guy is creepy. Why is he sitting here just staring at me and then gonna say my nails look nice? And so he just sat there looking at me. I promise he just sat there looking at me. And so I was like, well, would you like me to walk you to the front? He was like, oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I said, okay, yeah. I'll walk you to the front. So I was trying to get him up out of there because he couldn't sit there and look at me. And so after that, um, I didn't hear we didn't talk anymore. So then I remember like it took a while to get the show edited because at that time I didn't know how to edit, and I held the show for a long time. And so then I remember it was like almost a year after we recorded the show that I actually aired it on TV. And so then I remember reaching out to him. I found this number. I reached out to him to let him know I was going to air the show. And from that point, like we had a conversation because I didn't. He was creepy to me when he came over to my studio, just sitting there staring in my face. And then when I called him, I told him, you know, I'm gonna air the show or whatever. I had no idea that they was getting ready to do like a concert, him and 8 Ball and MJG. It was like it was a show, a big show. Like it was a show that they all had did. And we were on the phone. We started having a conversation about something as it relates to the music industry and about some more stuff. And I was really intrigued because I was like, dog, he's intelligent. He got good. I mean, he was really intelligent. He held my interest, like just with how he was answering the questions, and just how we was vibing on the conversation. I promise to God, I was like, dog, like I underestimated him. He's highly intelligent. And I mean, he was just so smooth with it. Okay. He was like, he was really, he wasn't hypered. He was just laid back because he got a laid back personality, anyways. He's never raised his voice at me. He's never cussed me. He's never done anything. I know our clown's bad. Never has he. And so, anyways, I was like, wow. And so we talked on the phone just from me calling him, letting him know I was getting ready to air the show. We talked on the phone for 2.5 hours until he said, he was like, I hate to get off of here. He said, I miss rehearsals, but I'm gonna go on. I gotta go on stage in a few minutes. I didn't even know that. He was like, damn, I hate to get off the phone with you. I gotta go on stage. I ain't even, I ain't rehearsing nothing. And so I was like, I mean, he was just cool. I don't even know if we talked after that. He actually reached out to me on social media and requested my friendship. We didn't really talk no more. And then he ended up calling me. We had another long conversation, and we became friends from that. I don't know. He's so shy. I don't even know at what point that we even started dating, but we started dating at some point. Maybe like a year or so afterwards. Yeah, maybe like a year or so afterwards. Oh, I know what happened. Okay, so like a year or so afterwards, he had reached out to me about editing because he had started getting into like video work and asking me about what software I use, what kind of cameras and stuff that I had. And he was like, "Can I come to your studio, to like take pictures of like whatever equipment it is you use? Because I'm gonna get into the videography part of it." I said, "Okay, cool." And he came over to the studio, child, and that was all that was it. Because he when he came over to the studio probably like midday. He didn't leave till late because we was just sitting there talking, and I remember him saying, "Damn, it's midnight." Like we just sitting there talking. And he ended up showing me some things on because we had the same editing software, or he had knew about it. And I'm gonna tell you something that impressed me because I asked him, I was like, "Well, how did you learn how to use that software?" He was like, "Well, I just kind of sat down and started doing some research and teaching myself how to do it." He always taught himself how to do like different stuff. And I like that. Okay. I be liking it when men sit down and learn how to do something that's gonna make some money. Okay. I likes that. He was very kind, and he's been very honest. I really, I don't talk to him anymore, but he be in the bushes and stuff. Okay. Because he be in the bushes because he be telling a mutual friend of ours. Um, I have talked to him. Yes, I have. I talked to him. I've talked to him a few times, as a matter of fact. But I remember telling him like that he was getting into the video part of it, and he was wanting to do like more documentaries and stuff like that, and which I think he would be good at because he did his own documentary and he did a really good job when he did that. And I think he knows how to tell. He's really good with writing. Like he was just, I don't know what it was. Like I think he's been very honest about like how when with the music industry, how they take you to the top and then they just throw you away. And I think that kept him into a depression. I don't know why he, I don't know. I don't know because when he writes stuff, it'd be like masterpieces. But um I remember telling him after we had started, when I thought about it, because this is when I started liking him, I started thinking about like after we was friends for all this time, I started thinking about, you know what? I think he might be somebody I like a little bit more than a friend. So I started telling my dad about him, and I started telling my dad like about he had been in the industry and stuff like that. And so he would talk to me about when people would reach out to him because they wanted to use some of his stuff that he still owns. because I think a lot of it he didn't know a lot about the industry, so he would just sell all his stuff, right? And so because he wrote all of his stuff, he wrote all of his stuff. And so my dad was like, "Oh yeah," he was like, "Dad was like, well, I tell you what, next time, um, before he agrees to do some deals or whatever, tell him I would like to meet him, and I'll get, my because my dad, where my dad worked at, he had already had lawyers that was accessible. He was like, I get the lawyers and stuff to kind of look over that paperwork and stuff. He was like, but that joker need to learn the business, as my dad called all men jokers. That joker need to learn the business. And because he could see that I was interested in it. But he's like I said, he was just a cool guy. It was a cool relationship, but Pat was I don't know what it was, but he was a cool guy. I don't have anything bad to say about him. He was just a cool guy. He was very giving. Okay. All that other stuff other folks be talking about, Pat takes care of business. Okay. I'm not trying to tell all our business, but he takes care of business. Okay. Um he understands what a man's role is. I'll say that. He said, "Oh, mean self." Somebody told me that the other day that I was mean. I hope not. I think I have been kind of hard on guys because I feel like when I was like really nice, men thought that they could take advantage of me. And when I say that, I'm talking about lying. I didn't have no men asking me for no money. Never. That's the reason why I didn't appreciate that lie being told on me by that vlogger. And I do believe that he told that lie. Because that they didn't just pull that up out of her ass. He told that damn lie. And he know he was lying. Okay. But the men that I dealt with, regardless to because Pat was at a time where he was starting to build again. Okay. He had been in a depression and stuff, but the thing that I loved about it was that he had skills. He was constantly obtaining skills, and he had the potential to go far. And I know they say you shouldn't deal with potential, but I watched that man. He had pride, never said, let me borrow, let me nothing. Every time because he got a check quarterly. Every time, baby, I got a bag. What you need? Okay, what I need to do, like how we gonna do this? Like I can invest in this, and that for you. That was a cool guy. I loved him. He was a cool guy. I just couldn't forgive him. When you cheat on me, I don't forgive you. I give you hell, and then it's gonna be over. It just is. And I told him that I was like, when he, I'm not gonna get into everything that happened. I told him there's no need for us really to be back together because yes, I still feel the same about you, but I know how I am. Like I can't get over what you've done, and I'm gonna lash out. I'm gonna give you hell. I'm gonna be mean to you sometimes, and so it's just best to end it while we can still be friends. He didn't want to do that. Okay, I guess he thought I was lying. Okay, I guess he thought I was lying. She says you are not mean. You just have no tolerance. That right. I can't accept cheating. I can't accept disloyal, stuff. Cause I'm a very loyal person. And I think that's why I'm just really comfortable. Like I be dating and stuff now. I'll date. Like, I had started and I don't know why, but I be feeling more comfortable with like talking to guys that I've talked to in the past. I really don't want to even date nobody new because I'm really scared to date somebody new. Honestly, I am. I don't be wanting no new energies around me. Parker was last. Okay, y'all see what happened with that. And I took a chance on that. and it turned out that it would have been a disaster. I ended it before it ended up being a disaster. And I don't have any, and I don't really, want to say anything bad about him because he was not all bad. Park was cool, but I think a lot of his motives were not right. I think he underestimated me. Maybe he thought, that I don't, but he couldn't have thought that. He couldn't have thought it because we had had extensive conversation. He knew that I was a go-getter and I just don't accept anything less. Like if I was taught when you get with a man, you're supposed to do better. If you ain't doing better, that's not the man. I don't care how much you care about him or what you feel about him. If you ain't doing better when you get with a man, that ain't your man. I didn't see where that was gonna get better. And so it was really unfortunate. And it may have, but I don't know if he had the drive. I don't know if he had that. But we all have little issues and stuff that we have to deal with. Like, I'm learning some things because growing up around like my cousins and stuff being street dudes, like they didn't argue with us. They always just let the women have their way. Because they didn't want to be bothered with us. See, those are real street dudes. They dare not argue with a woman. And they gets money and they real street dudes. Okay. And so and so what I had to learn, and I just learned this just like as of recently. I always thought when a man said to me, like, you know, I, you made me feel a certain way when you said that to me. And because I thought a man's feelings was supposed to be made of steel, I guess. I just didn't know that they get their feelings hurt. And so I would think, okay, he's talking about that, that hurt his feelings or this and that. Because Pat used to say to me sometimes, like, dog, uh, Tamara, like when you did that, man, I don't know how much longer because he was real patient. I don't know how much longer because when you say this, like when you sitting up talking about you want to end this, that man, you really you have my stomach in knots and stuff. Like I don't know how much, and I would think he trying to manipulate me. Like if a man say his feelings was hurt or I made him feel a certain way, okay, so now you're trying to manipulate me because men don't get their feelings hurt. Hear my right hand to the Lord. I promise I didn't know. I thought that I could just say whatever I want to say to a man because I was never corrected and it would just roll off of his back. It's just been a recently that I found out that they get their feelings hurt. Okay. And so now I'm better about that. So that's why when y'all hear me on here and I'm kind of going in, they bald head ass, this, and that. That's because that's just kind of something we've been used to doing with no harm intended though. But I mean, men do get their feelings hurt. So that's something I'm learning. Like we consistently learn as we get older. I cannot just talk to a man how I want to talk to him and expect for because I know as women, our feelings are easily hurt. I know my feelings always be getting hurt, but I just didn't know my, that I was hurting nobody's feelings. And that is the truth. Once that trust is broken, it is broken. And if you choose to continue to try to be with me, I'm going to treat you so bad. So be ready for it. Yeah. A lot of us be on our get back. The first time I tried to be on my get back, it went left. So that's the reason why I don't cheat. I don't cheat no more. I don't cheat no more. It just ain't worth it. I don't be on my good get back, and I never and I only cheated one time on one guy, and that was the one from out of over there on Steel Street. He cheated on me first, and he went so crazy. He knew something was going on because I'm so predictable. He a little dangerous. He made some threats, and so it kind of scared me because he knew something was going on. I didn't even know how to cheat real good. But that was years ago, child. That was before we even had our daughter. I always say to him, because I had caught him cheating, and after I caught him cheating with his one of his baby mamas, I was so upset with him. But I didn't want to give her the satisfaction of having him. So I did take him back. But you know that we was in our 20s. And so then I started cheating on him. And I had to quit the guy that I was cheating with because he about lost his mind because he was talking about um see he didn't do it right because he was sitting up talking about he was gonna tell it. He started talking about he was gonna tell it. And I thought we had an understanding. And so I had to quit him. Um he said, damn it, Tamara. I know. I know. I had never been a cheater before. I've never cheated since. Because it went so bad when with him threatening to tell and trying to force me, trying to pressure me to leave him. And I was gonna leave him, but he couldn't make me do it. And but he had gotten so stupid. I wasn't gonna leave him for him. So my mama said, "See, that's just a sign that you never was supposed to be cheating anyways." I said, "I know it. I wasn't. It was not for me to do." And the reason, um, it was just the anyways. I'm telling y'all too much stuff. Shit, child. That'll be somebody's headliner because a lot of these folks don't know how to have content. They're very fascinated with my life. They done did worse. They been prostitutes and everything, and will sit up and listen to me talk about some stuff that happened when I was 20 years old, and that would be their headline. That's when you know it's a sickness, okay? Because we all done been through some stuff and did some things. I think about this stuff. I think about, and that was probably the most spontaneous thing that I had ever did because I couldn't believe my cousins told me, "Girl, you could do it." My cousins sure wasn't no good. They said he cheat on he gonna. I remember my cousin Mika say, "Well, he gonna cheat on you again because you don't cheat back." And I couldn't stand him either because we would be sitting up having a conversation and he would be laughing and stuff. And I would start looking at him because we would be having fun looking at movies. And then I would start looking at him and I would say, my mind would say, look at him sitting over there laughing after he done cheating on me. And I started an argument with him. And so he was like, Tamara, now you're gonna start like we was just sitting here having fun, but that anger and stuff comes over you. As women, we never really get over that. You could be laughing 1 minute and then you think about that betrayal. Look at him sitting over there laughing, and he done cheated on me. And I started a whole argument with him. Anyways, I'm glad that I don't have that toxic stuff in my life no more. I'm really I'm cool with just being by myself. I really am. I could be cool with just being by myself because I don't need no man in my life making my life complicated. I be wanting some peace. Because the moment you start letting your guards down, they start acting a fool. And then they think you bipolar. Because at my age now, I'm not getting ready to try to rationalize nothing. I'm just going to close the door on you. Bye. You got to go. I don't want nothing else to talk. I don't want to talk no more. It ain't no need in talking. That's just how I feel about it. Like, I don't want to waste no time. Because I know me, like, I'm a very loyal person. I'm a very kind, I'm very nurturing. And that could be the issue too. Because I'm real nurturing and very affectionate. So it's I don't want to be giving my nurture and my affection and my sensuality to nobody that ain't deserving of it. I didn't have relationships with 8 whole men, and none of them. I ain't with none of them now. I can't do it no more. I'm just tired. Um, but Barbara says when they are going to tell something that goes to show that they are those emotions. Yeah, he was threatening to tell it. I hate that because I like him. His name was Corey. I liked Corey. He used to hang with my cousins and Corey got money. He got money for real. And he was very generous with it. But Corey didn't play he didn't do that right. He should have he didn't stick to what we had agreed to. He didn't stick to that. And so he was trying to pressure me to do some things that I was going to do, but I was trying to gradually do it. You know, he was stressing me out. He says, it is best just to walk away with things are not working because, yeah, it could save you. I'm telling you. I don't know why people think that they could just play with people's emotions. And I'm gonna tell you one of the things that I lose respect for a man is one of my pet peeves. This right here closes the door on a friendship and everything. I don't like for a man to ever think that he could have me on reserve. I got something going on over here. Maybe me and little mama gonna get back together over here, but Tamara, she a nice girl, she a good catch. I'm gonna try to put her on reserve just in case. I ain't no just in case nothing. Okay. I don't right, that's one of my pet peeves right there. Don't you ever think I'm gonna be reserved. I ain't no backup, no number two, nothing. I always come in first place in anything I do. That's why I work so hard. I ain't gonna let no man make me no reserve. Okay. All they got to do is just you respect them better. If I respect men when they go, you know what? Because I've heard men say that, you know what, I got something going on. Man, I really wish that I could hey Sherry. Sherry is a good woman. Dog, I would she's definitely my type. But you know what? I got something going on over here. Sherry, too good of a woman for me to be trying to put on reserve. So me and Sherry just gonna stay friends. But they be wanting to try to put you on reserve because they know you're a good catch and they don't want nobody else to have you. That's when you really supposed to go get you somebody else for real. Because one thing about it, when women are confused about a man, that means I'm a woman. I know this. When women are confused about men, they don't really want them. Because normally women are not confused about no men. They, I love this man. I want to be with him, and I'm gonna be with him. So if she's confused, it's because he ain't what she really want. She got somebody else that she really wants. He just ain't acting right. I know because I've done that. I've had guys that would try to talk to me, and maybe I liked them a little bit. And people don't understand. Like I don't understand where these folks come from on here. They think you can't even just talk to a man without having sex with them. That that is crazy. I would never subject myself to like having a lot of different bodies. Absolutely not. I think laying with 8 men is too many. If you ask me, that's how to me, that's not something I had planned. Like that's not something I had planned. I thought I had it all like planned out because you know, my grandma and them used to say that the first man that you be with, you need to marry. I had always said, honestly, I said, I want to be with about 3 men because by the third man, I want to be like my husband. By that time, I would know what it is that I want. Okay. I'm closer to 40. I mean, I'm closer to 50. 8 men later. And that's almost embarrassing. and I still don't have my husband. I know grandma was right. The first man you be with, you really supposed to be married to. I mean, because it don't feel good knowing like, dog, I have my daughter's dads because before I had my first child, I had only been with one other man. Then my daughter's dad, and then my second daughter's dad was the third man I'd been with. He was the third man. So, and then I've been with a few more after that. So, and I'm still, so that's why, like I said, I'm cool. Like before Mr. Parker, I had been celibate for almost 2.5 years. And I really wish I had not broken my celibacy for him. And okay, I'm through with that. It's great to say something else. Grandma didn't want you to be dipping in, dabbing, and trampling and sampling like I know, right? Well, I don't know. My grandmother was beautiful. My grandmama did everything she wanted to do. Now, my mama, on the other hand, I don't ever remember seeing my mama with. I saw my mama date um one man. I saw my mama date one man growing up, and I don't even know if that was dating. Okay, because he would come and sit and look at TV with her, and then you know he was gone. So my mama didn't bring it. She was not that. She ain't got that type of personality, anyways. Um, my mama said, "Oh, I ain't gonna say what my mama said, but my mother believes in celibacy." I told my mama I love my mama so much, but when they get to talking about their celibacy, and um, this one lady that went to church with them, she was talking about she had been celibate for 22 years. Mm-mm. I can't do that. It ain't gonna happen. Praise the Lord, though. Praise the Lord to her. I ain't even asked my mom, praise the Lord to her, but I just don't believe God to do me like that. 22, and I guess it's safer now though, because these folks out here sick. They don't tell you nothing that they got, so you have to be very careful. But 22 years, and and that lady said she was still believing God for her husband. Mm-mm, mm-mm. 22 years. That's exactly what they do. It's so sad. I hate to see young women and old women selling themselves like that. They say they do it for some money, but why not just go get a job? Like my mama was saying, whoever told these women that it would be better to just sell their bodies rather than just go get a job? I would never. I could never. I don't even see how they can lay with a man that they don't at least have some type of care for. They don't even be knowing these folks. They just getting money. Oh yeah, I met dude, and yeah, he be getting my nails done, my hair done. I don't know how they do. Like I don't know how they do it. Like it would be so gross to me. Yeah, but my mom is from the old school. My dad did his thing, though. I tell you, he was a gentleman. Though my dad was a gentleman. I was shocked when they were sitting up talking about my dad was a ladies' man like that. But they always said he's such a gentleman. I remember Janice Full of Love asked me, she said, "Is your dad Is your dad married? He's such a gentleman. Janice had a crush on my dad. My dad said back in the day, Janice Woodlove was so freaking beautiful. He said she was so freaking beautiful. Janice used to always come and be a guest on my show. Y'all remember when Janice Woodlove? She's been sick. That she's been really sick, so she hasn't even for like 5 years she hasn't been able to when she had her last stroke, she hadn't been able to talk or nothing. No, everybody loved her voice. Hold on, let me see. Janice helped me out a lot because when I first started doing my TV show, I didn't know nothing about being a host. And she would come, y'all, Janice would be lit though. Janice had a little cup with beer in it and wine. She have a cup with wine in it on the side. And every time we went to commercial, she'd be drinking it. And Janice would be getting more and more and more and more lit. This when I first started doing TV. She was her and my dad was very close, so she started coming over there doing the show so it could bring traction, because she definitely had that personality. She might say anything.
Mayor Wharton, because they don't think that he's doing anything
Y'all see
for
how
the
nervous I
African
look?
American community.
That was like one of my first
And
shows.
many people have said, I supported him, I voted for him, but never again will I ever vote for him again. And I know that's an emotional kind of response that people have. But even though I've said the same thing, well, I never voted for him the first or second time. Never, never, ever. But, I try to, as a council person, put my feelings aside and listen to really what he is proposing. I don't agree with none of them. None. Because I don't think that he's working in behalf of the people. Now, that's just me. Okay? That's me.
With crime constantly going up, and I work with battered women and children. That's like one of my
money. They can find money to do whatever they want to do. Southbrook Mall, a black project. What happened to that? They tossed that to the side.
Yeah.
But they got a $20-some million project for the Raleigh Springs Mall. And let me tell you something, people in Raleigh. I don't have anything against you. My only concern is that why would you take precedence over Southbrook Mall that only asked for $1.5 million to repair a roof, to have an HVAC repaired, but you all can get $23 million. Something is wrong. Pinnacle Airlines asked for all of this money. And what did these white folk do? You know what they did? They filed bankruptcy.
Y'all, she had got
and then
hit.
they left us holding the bag. We have so many other projects. Electrolux. I don't know what Electrolux is doing. I thought that Electrolux was going to hire many people here from Memphis. Are they doing that? I don't think so. And that's my concern. I want people in Memphis on Memphis projects to work for Memphis. At some years ago, when that thug, Director Godwin, was in office, they couldn't find anybody in the city of Memphis to go through the academy. And so I did that. I agreed upon it. I said, okay, we can't agree upon it. I mean, we can't find anybody according to you. Then I agreed that, okay, for a year, we would look at people outside of Shelby County, only for a year. You would have to move inside the city. But, you know, to say that people are so stupid and so ignorant and so criminal in the city of Memphis, I don't go along with that, not at all. And I apologize to the citizens of Memphis. I really do. I really do. I did what I thought was best at the time based upon the information that I was given by a thug, and that's Director Godwin.
We have the upcoming elections.
I'm going to tell you something. These elections coming up, you don't know anything about none of these people. All of them sitting up here talking about what they're going to promise they're going to do to you. They can't do a doggone thing because they're only one vote. Let me tell you something. I don't care what their commercials sound like. I don't care what they're promising you they're going to do. They can't do nothing. I mean, absolutely nothing. They're only one vote. One vote. And you as a voter should get to know who these people are. I don't care who sends you ballots. I don't care what commercials you hear. Don't believe them unless you know them. You know me. I will tell you the truth, even if it means to the detriment of me, because I don't want anything from you except to make this city a better city for you. Don't trust none of them. None of them. You hear me? None of them.
Okay, because I was going to say Judge Joe Brown seems to have put a lot of...
Even Judge Joe Brown, let me tell you something. Judge Joe Brown. And I like Judge Joe Brown. I believe he would be a great district attorney. I do. I believe that. But he has to prove himself to you too. Don't just look at him because, oh, he's been on national television. Why did he get kicked off? Ask yourself that question. Find out about him. Just like I would ask you to find out about me. Now, what else?
Well, I was going to say, since Judge Joe Brown has, he's running.
It's like a nail in a wall.
Mm-hmm. It's like a nail in a wall.
Uh-huh.
And why do you say that?
Because I don't see any excitement. I don't see anything that Judge Joe Brown is saying that's going to turn anything around.
They're getting drunk.
Amy Warwick, I am not in favor of. Because that woman tried to put me in jail because I threw my plates on my doggone floor. But what I'm saying to Judge Joe Brown is, I know your election comes up in August. Generate some excitement, sweetie. Generate it. Tell people what you want to happen.
Yeah, she's from South
Not
Memphis.
what you say you're going to do, but what you want to happen. And generate that excitement. Get people up in arms about all of the black people, the black men that are being arrested. Because that's all Amy Warwick is doing. That heifer wanted to put me in jail.
And that was my next question. Why do you think there's so many, because I work downtown, so many black men in jail when we know that blacks aren't the only ones?
Yeah, I know. Yeah, because I'm going to tell you something. We have a 30% poverty rate right here in Memphis in Shelby County. A 30% poverty rate. and you have black men doing the only thing that they think that they can do, and that's sell drugs. And then you got white folk from Germantown, from Bartlett, from Cordova, coming to South Memphis, coming to North Memphis, buying drugs for them. And you would never find a group of white men in Germantown selling in a crack house that people in those areas would stand for. But as far as black people, we believe like that's the norm. Okay, that's the norm. We do that. And as black people, call me 576-6786. If you've got a crack house in your area and you want to get rid of it, if you see young black men standing on the corner selling drugs, call me. I'll do something about it.
So you're saying it's going to take us.
It's going to take us.
To take our neighbor.
Oh my God, Janice full of love. Janice full of love. Well, listen, when people saw that show, when that show aired, folks was calling me, they was laughing so hard. Janice knows she showed out in that show, but Janice came in there. She wasn't drunk when she came in there. But every time we took a break, because, you know, we edited a lot, she'll pick her cup up and drink some more wine. She was constantly drinking wine and stuff. Y'all see how she became real angry at the end. She had got pissy drunk. Yeah, she wanted the crack house. She said, call her. She was going to go up in them crack houses and do something about it. She was going to shut them down. Oh my God, Lord have mercy. I tell you. Yeah, she was one of the first politicians that I interviewed. I interviewed all of them, really. I just don't remember. I don't have all of them uploaded. Mm. I tell you. Yep. Yep, Janice wanted the crack house. Yeah, I cannot believe that it is almost 2 o'clock in the morning and I ain't really even sleepy. But I've been out tonight. So, like I said, I'm happy that I actually got out and went. It's time for me to start networking and stuff. And it was like right around where I live at. So, like I said, it was really cool. Normally when I drink wine and stuff, I be sleepy, but I don't drink a lot of wine when I go out though. Because I don't be like being drunk. But I don't get drunk though, so yep, I don't get drunk. We didn't talk about a plethora of stuff tonight. I think we talked about everything except for what we were supposed to be talking about. I talked about my relationships and everything. She was engaging as hell, and one thing I could always say, Memphis has buck ass politicians, but the black ones were always highly educated, i.e., Janice, AC. Yeah, I don't know what's going on now, though. I think I interviewed the mayor. Hold on, let me see. Hold on. I know I uploaded it. I don't know if it's still up. Oh, here it is. Mm. Oh, I can't find it. Oh yeah, I recorded. I recorded so many videos. Oh my god. Looking at them now, I recorded a lot of videos. I don't know why I can't find the video. Yeah, I'm looking for it. I just don't see it. Mm. I'm going back down through the years of all the videos that I recorded so many videos. Lord have mercy. When they get made Diddy honorary doctorate or something. Child. I'm looking for the video. I don't know why I can't find it. I can't find it. Yeah, I have. I recorded so many videos. Oh, it started me all over again. I'm not going to worry about it. Thank you, Neo. I was looking for when I interviewed the police chief and the mayor. I'll be interviewing Paul Young really soon too, and the district attorney. I'll be interviewing the district attorney and Paul Young really soon. Paul had been was like, and Steve too was like, go ahead and set up. Steve said it as of recently. Paul had been said it. Paul Young, Mary Young. Um, I was up in the I was up in the DA's office yesterday, y'all. I saw Steve Hagerman, not Steve Hagerman. I saw Paul Hagerman. I saw Paul. Paul is very handsome. Paul been working out. He's, you could tell the way his clothes and stuff fit him now. He's buff. I'm trying to oh, I can't find it. Oh my god, I've done so many videos on Young Dolph. I've done most of my videos on Young Dolph. Hold on, y'all. Mm. I'm not gonna be satisfied until I see that video. Yeah, just give me a moment. Oh, yeah, I'm just getting so emotional going back and looking at some of these videos. This was down through the years of being on. I would be talking so much shit. I don't even know what I was talking about right there. Super freak in the course of a search. I remember I did that video. I'm getting ready to show y'all something else. Y'all get ready to trip. I hope it don't take me all the way back to the beginning. Y'all is getting ready to trip out. I saw that video. I started to click on it. Oh my God. Now I got to go all the way back down. Let's see. For those of you all that didn't see this one, I gotta let y'all see this one. But I'm ready to show y'all something that's gonna trip y'all out. We was just talking about
Hi, my
this.
name is Kaylee.
I gotta let y'all see this one.
Pastor Pam. And thank you for giving me a chance to interview for this $10,000 scholarship.
She gonna give you in Jesus' name.
The prom question was who inspires me and who I look up to, and it's my grandmother. And that's because she's a pastor. But before she got saved by Jesus and gave her life to Christ, she used to be a prostitute. Well, my papa told me.
Your damn life in a motherfucking present. This ain't no school.
My papa told me she used to be a prostitute.
You're just God bang your ass out.
And she,
I never fucking been a prostitute. I was a virgin when I was back.
She used to. He said he had to save her from standing on the side of the street selling her sweets. And
that's a damn lie.
I really want to know because she is in debt with her pimp, and she has to pay.
Motherfucker pimp. Now look. This ain't no school shit.
Just stop cursing.
Wait.
Stop cursing.
You calling me a prostitute?
Stop cursing, Mama. It's the truth.
I ain't never been a prostitute.
Yes, you have. So
what is how you spell prostitute?
No,
how you spell it?
For real. Don't mess it up. It's something. And
oh, y'all pranking my black ass.
You messing me up for real. And now I gotta cut all this out. I gotta restart this part. My papa had saved her from off the street, but she really stopped being a prostitute and got touched up because she said she got tired of sleeping with so many people.
That's a damn lie. I ain't never slept no motherfucker.
Mama,
don't do that to me. I ain't never been a fucking prostitute a thing in my life. It's
the truth.
Ain't no motherfucking truth. You weren't even born. You don't know what the fuck I did.
My papa told me you used to be a prostitute.
Oh shit.
He had told me you used to be a prostitute.
Dollar, burn your ass out.
That's how he met you.
Dollar!
Keep going. Mama, stop.
Stop my ass.
I gotta cut all this out. There's so much energy. And
how you gonna get $10,000 for this shit? Lying.
I'm not lying. You just don't want these people to know that she was.
I'll tell them bitches.
You just don't want. You just don't want.
What's wrong with you?
You doing all that cursing. You see trying to make this video. You just don't want people.
What?
You just don't want them people to know that she was on the side selling your sweets. Before
I ain't got no fucking sweet. I got a Jello.
You was the best prostitute in town because.
You're the best fucking liar.
You was the best prostitute in town, my papa.
You're a liar.
Because of your big old booty.
Yeah, big booty. I didn't have no booty when I was young.
Yeah, he's
open that damn door, Charlie.
Listen.
Open the damn door before I shoot in that motherfucker. Open the door.
The pimp used to hit her upside head with a frying pan, but
what?
My
what
papa
pimp?
Came and saved her, and she gave her life to Christ, and now she.
Dollar! Come here. All this bullshit. I don't like this kind of shit. I'm a Christian.
Mama.
I'm a Christian. And then you said that you had to get me off the street because I was prostituted.
You was.
What do prostituted mean?
Prostitute when you got a pimp and you know what it was. You was doing it.
No, you pimping.
That's right.
You prostituting.
And I really want to help her get out of debt with her pimp because,
Ma'am, that's a damn lie. Whatever she telling y'all, don't give her no fucking scholarship because she lying.
I'm not.
She lying.
I'm not.
She lying. Now you can come do my rap. Come check me out. Come check my reputation out. I used to fight asses. I fight.
Yeah, you're right. You used to be on there fighting the pimps. That's
no, I ain't never seen a pimp a day in my life.
Come on. But
girl, this ain't no school fucking shit.
It's stop cursing.
I believe it's a motherfucking prank.
She a pastor of a church, y'all, in Louisiana. They had her on another show. She said her granddaughter pranked her and had her so upset. She said she don't normally cuss like that. Hold on, y'all. I can't believe that I cannot find it's been 8 months already since that happened to Ricky Floyd. I hate that happened to Pastor Floyd. Hold on, y'all. I'm about to find it. I hate to have to go all the way back down. I like this kind of life. I'm living a blessed life. Hold on, y'all. I'm gonna find it in a minute. I can't understand why I can't find. Maybe it's been back longer than what I thought. Um, yeah, I can't find it. It's in here. I guess it's just too far down. I can't believe I can't find Mike and Strickland's interview. Anyways, I ain't gonna worry about it. It says like they keep going back and forth. I don't know if they are gonna let that lady free or charge her for Floyd's shooting. Well, I think she should be charged because clearly he was not a threat and he started backing up and she shot him anyways. He started backing up and she shot him when he started backing up. That was, she didn't have, that was crazy. So she was just trigger happy. Anyway, y'all, I'm gonna get off of here. I may get on tomorrow. I need to do some things around the house. I actually got to finish up the rest of my lesson tomorrow. I'll be finished tomorrow though with everything in philosophy. So I'll be a free woman. Praise the Lord. And so maybe after I do that, I need to do some things around the house. I need to wash and stuff. And finish my philosophy assignments. And then I may get on. If not, I will be uploading videos, if nothing else, okay? Listen, y'all, it's 2 o'clock in the morning. Y'all hung out with me. Y'all hung with a sister. Hey, I'm kind of wired up because I enjoyed myself tonight. I went to, like I said, one of the attorneys that I work with had a holiday party at his house. It was really nice. Around the Midtown area, a really nice home. Really nice food and soda. Well, it was sodas, but drinks and stuff. So it was really nice, and I really, it was a good atmosphere. But I never stay out long. I just like to go and network and just be supportive when I can. And so yeah. So I'm a little wired up, so I'll probably get up and do some washing tonight. But I know y'all sleepy. Y'all be hanging out with me though, as long as y'all can. Child, folks been jumping off and going to sleep and stuff. Kroger 6977 up in here. I might upload something. I don't think I have any more people left in my platinum members. If so, I would have uploaded a video. I might just do it anyways. I'll upload a video. If you're still a member, you'll see it. I was supposed to upload it the other day. Anyway, y'all, I love you all. Y'all have a good night. Sleep peacefully. Dear God, I ask that you watch over everyone and their families, each and every one of us and our families. No weapon formed against us shall prosper. Anything that rises up will be condemned. Okay. I love you all. Y'all have a good night.